PACIS TV, the #1 Catholic television in Africa.
PACIS TV, ta vie renouvelée en Jésus-Christ.
Hello and good evening. Thank you very much for choosing PACIS TV. This is the time for the news in English. I am Benjamin Kwizera. I give you a warm welcome, and these are the headlines. In Cyangugu, the Catholic parish of Mushaka begins the journey of reconciliation and restoring unity between those who took part in 1994 genocide against the Tutsi and those who they wronged. In Kigali today, the leaders and the employees of MYAKA Fund, known locally as Tubura, paid tribute to the victims of the genocide against the Tutsi at Gisozi Memorial Site. In Nyaruguru, Honorable Senator Umuhire Adrien is calling on youth to prioritize unity among Rwandans, to distance themselves from evil and to stand up against those who continue to spread genocide ideology. In Cyangugu, young people are being urged to guard against those who distort the history of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in an attempt to downplay or to deny it. In international news, His Holiness Pope Leon XIV urges Cameroonian authorities to fight against the corruption. Pope Leon XIV delivered a strong political message on Wednesday to the authorities of Cameroon. In sports, FIFA President Gianni Infantino said on Wednesday that Iran will participate in the World Cup for sure, despite its war with the United States of America. After short break, we are coming with news in the detail. Welcome to the news in details. The Catholic parish of Mushaka was the first among those in Diocese of Cyangugu to begin the journey of reconciliation and restoring unity between those who took part in the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi and the genocide survivors. The news in detail. The Catholic parish of Mushaka begins the journey of reconciliation and restoring unity between the genocide perpetrators of 1994 genocide and the survivors. So far, the report says that they have reached 92% success in reconciling perpetrators and survivors. Those who have received forgiveness from the genocide survivors, they are now rebuilding the brotherhood with survivors to the extent that some families are now even connected through children baptized together. Nicholas, one of those who participated in the genocide against the Tutsi and later asked for forgiveness, says that although it was difficult to approach the person he had wronged, the teachings and support he received gave him strength to do so. After completing sentence handed down by the courts, he says he now lives in peace again with those he wronged. This person you see here, I'm the one who led the attack that killed her father, and I'm the one who brought him from the house. After some time, I took the decision and wrote a letter dedicated to the family I wronged. I was looking for forgiveness from this family. Ever since this family forgiven me, my fear went away, because before that, I lived in extreme fear. To be honest, you can never find something you can recompense. To be honest, you can never find something that you can give the family you killed. But at least we are now living together in peace, harmony, and we do together some charity actions. I would like to express my gratitude to this family. Rangwa Mariana, one of the people he asked for forgiveness, also confirms that although she was initially afraid of him, granting forgiveness helped restore peace in the heart. Even though it was not easy, she says that her brother has now become a baptismal parent to Nicholas' child, the son of the man who killed their parent. In the beginning, after this man was released from the jail, we were very afraid of him. We were very afraid of him because we considered him as a killer, as a perpetrator. But now we have forgiven him and we share everything. Whenever I have a party in my home or we have certain event,
ntabwo umwe yakora ikirori ngo abure kudatumira mugenzi wiwe.
confessing guilt before the law does not remove the responsibility after serving the sentence to approach the survivor, ask for forgiveness, and engage in a journey of reconciliation together is a very significant step. Uhura Ningoga Tarsis, a counselor for unity and reconciliation in Mushaka Parish, explains that when they find people who have not yet fully healed, they guide them step by step, encouraging to concrete actions fast.
Tukagerageza gusanga uwatanze imbabazi tukamuhuza n'uwo yazisabiye tugakurura.
We still have challenges of some people who are still struggling to ask for forgiveness. But because it is our responsibility, we are still doing our best to help them to take a step forward and understand the significance of unity and reconciliation. They must understand that. The Executive Secretary of Gashaka Sector, Matilde Nyirangendahimana, also affirms that this program has played a significant role in improving both the living conditions and relationship among residents. When these people who finished their sentence in the jail come back in the society, we really help them to integrate them in the society. When they are integrated in the society, it helped them to be free. And I would like to thank genocide survivors for giving forgiveness to the perpetrators. This is very a big step that will help to build unity and reconciliation. Based on the number of offenders who have not yet asked for forgiveness, Mushaka Parish is now on Group 6, meaning that 92% have already sought forgiveness. Currently, this unity and reconciliation program has spread to all 22 parishes of Diocese of Cyangugu. Some of the newer parishes have just begun the journey, where participants in different groups are undergoing training, many of whom will complete in July and August. Today, the leaders and employees of MYAKA Fund, known locally as Tubura, paid tribute to the victims of the genocide against the Tutsi at Gisozi Memorial Center. In his remarks, Belinda Bwiza, one of the senior leaders of MYAKA Fund in Rwanda, reminded the survivors of genocide that they are not alone.
To the survivors with us today, we see you, we honor you, and we walk with you. The weight you carry is not yours alone. Each year we come together to reaffirm that you're not alone and that you'll never be forgotten. Through this remembrance, commemoration keeps alive our collective responsibility. Never again is a commitment. It's a commitment that must be renewed in how we think, in how we act, and how we show up in our communities every single day. That responsibility becomes even more urgent in a region where division and harmful ideologies still threaten progress. In this context, unity is not optional, it's very essential. It is how we protect what we have built. It's how we resist forces that seek to take us backward. It begins with each one of us, in our daily choices, in how we treat one another, and in how we stand firm in our shared values. Within MYAKA Fund, this sense of unity is reflected in how we serve farmers, with dignity and with respect. It means recognizing that every farmer we work with is part of Rwanda's ongoing story of rebuilding. It calls on us to show up not just as employees, but as citizens committed to a stronger and more inclusive nation. And from that foundation, renewal takes shape. It's not a distant idea, but as something that we actively build.
The senior director of RWANYU Fund, Joseph Mourn, said that commemorate the genocide against the Tutsi helps them to comprehend really what happened in Rwanda and standing together with genocide survivors.
I think coming to the Kigali Genocide Memorial, particularly during the commemoration period of the genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda, is really important for us as international employees of RWANYU Fund to come and see and to understand the atrocities that happened here in '94, and also to stand with our colleagues as we commemorate the people who were lost, the victims of the genocide in '94, but also to stand with our colleagues who are survivors, and to make sure we understand the history of Rwanda.
From Kigali straight to Nyaruguru, Honorable Senator Umuhire Adrien is calling on the youth to prioritize unity among Rwandans, to distance themselves from the evil, and to stand up against those who continue to spread genocide ideology. He made these remarks on the April 15, 2026, during the commemoration of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, particularly in Nyaruguru district in Cyahinda sector, in what was formerly called Nyakizu commune. Youth from Cyahinda and the Nyagisozi sectors in Nyaruguru district say that although they were born after the genocide against the Tutsi, its consequences have affected them. Therefore, they believe it is their responsibility not to remain passive in the face of anyone with intentions of returning Rwanda to the dark history of the genocide against the Tutsi. Honorable Senator Umuhire Adrien, who joined residents and natives of Cyahinda sector in commemorating the Tutsi who were killed in the former Nyakizu commune, including those from Mubuga, Chiri, Rwamiko, Kivu, Gishamvu, and other areas, recalled that about 58,000 people who had taken refuge at Cyahinda Catholic Church were killed there, with the involvement of the mayor Nyakizu commune, Ladislas Naganzwa. He urged the youth to distance themselves from evil and frequently visit memorial sites where victims of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi are laid to rest, so that they can understand this history and take firm measures to fight those who continue to spread genocide ideology. He also emphasized the importance of promoting unity among Rwandans. Senator Umuhire Adrien further encouraged genocide survivors to continue demonstrating the resilience they have shown and to prepare to live alongside those who committed genocide and are completing their sentences, both those who have asked for forgiveness and those who have not. He also called on Rwandans in general, especially those who witnessed and lived through the genocide against the Tutsi in 1994, to tell the truth about what happened and to acknowledge that the genocide was planned, in order to help the youth to understand how to prevent early any ideas or actions that could once again sow division among Rwandans. From Nyaruguru to Cyangugu, young people are being urged to guard against those who distorted the history of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in an attempt to downplay or deny it. They are encouraged to think critically and to value truthful information. This call comes at a time when there are still individuals spreading genocide ideology, many of whom were involved in it. They are also reminded that remembrance is not about harboring resentment or reopening wounds, but about ensuring that history is not forgotten and learning from it in order to build a country free from genocide. These points were highlighted during discussions organized by MUNSI that brought together residents of RW'IGITANGAZAMAKURU district as a part of the 32nd commemoration of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. The discussions focused on Rwanda's painful history, particularly the genocide ideology that was introduced during colonial period and persisted afterward. Jean-Marie Vianney Twagirumukiza noted that some adults continue to distort the history and urged the young people to remain vigilant and avoid falling into that trap, as many of them were too young to fully understand the genocide against the Tutsi. On the other hand, the discussions also addressed the perception held by some that remembrance is about holding grudges, Tadeo Ruterana explained that remembrance is important because it helps to preserve history and enables young generations to learn from it so that such events never happen again. He added that even in Christian faith, the Bible emphasized that importance of remembering. The mayor of Rusizi district, Sindaiheba Fanuel, reminded residents that during this 32nd commemoration of the genocide against the Tutsi, it is important to condemn those who deny and trivialize the genocide. He also urged the young people and all Rwandans in general to continue strengthening unity and working together to build the nation. History shows that young people were heavily used in carrying out the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, but they also played a major role in the struggle to liberate the country led by RPF Inkotanyi. This demonstrates that when the energy is used positively, it can help to build and develop the nation. After a short break, we are coming back with international news.
Shuri bose bashaka ni College Fondation Sinagera.
Mama we.
Iri ni ishuri ribumbata icyerekezo cy'u Rwanda twifuza kuko ritanga uburezi buhamye mu mashuri y'inshuke, abanza, icyiciro rusange ndetse n'amashami y'imyuga n'ubumenyingiro mu buhinzi, ubworozi, food processing, ubwubatsi, ubukanishi bw'ibinyabiziga, fashion design, gutunganya imisatsi, ububaji n'ubusuderi. Hari n'amasomo y'igihe gito short courses mu mashami yavuzwe haruguru aherekezwa na practice zihagije kuko abanyeshuri bigira mu nganda za Sinagera. Sinagera International Football Academy yigisha abana guhera ku myaka 6 gucunga ruhago sawa sawa, atletism, imbyino nyarwanda no kwiga amategeko y'umuhanda no gutwara ibinyabiziga nabyo biri mu nyongera y'amasomo. Abana biga amashuri y'incuke n'abanza basoza ibyo byiciro bose bazi gutwara igare. Umwana wa segonderi we atahana uruhusa rwo gutwara ibinyabiziga. Witinda kwandikisha umwana ku ishuri kuri Nyirangarama cyangwa ku mashami ya Sinagera Entreprise Urwibutso hose mu gihugu. Ku bindi bisobanuro hamagara 0788535123 cyangwa 0788535999.
College Fondation Sinagera.
Twubaka ubukungu bushingiye ku bumenyi.
Rero ugiye kutubwira impamvu zatumye uhitamo kuza gusaba akazi hano.
Bwa mbere nza gusaba akazi hano nari nabitekerejeho, mbabarire. Murakoze. Mu by'ukuri numvaga mfite ubushobozi ndetse n'ubushake.
So kutiteguye bihagije ni ukutaryama neza. Rwanda Farm, le paradis du matelas.
Nubwo wabura hitaruye uryoherwa na vibes nkuri muri stade. Muri Canal Plus nitukwereka gusa ibyamamare, tuguha vibes zidasanzwe. Byarenze kureba amashusho gusa, ihinduka inkuru zicicikana umunsi ku munsi mu gihugu hose. Mufata buguzi mushya, gura dekoderi ya HD ya Canal Plus ku bihumbi 5 guhera kuri abonema ya Zamuka na installation ikorwe ku bihumbi 5.
BAKRISTU bavandimwe, cyagiye cyo gukora urugendo nyobokamana dusura igihugu cya Isiraheli dore kiregereje.
No guhera ku itariki ya 15 z'ukwezi kwa gatandatu uyu mwaka kugeza ku itariki 23 z'ukwezi kwa gatandatu uyu mwaka.
Abifuza gukora urugendo nyobokamana rutegurwa na Tabor Tours barasabwa kwishyura amadolari 3,000 kuri buri muntu akubiyemo ibyo bazaba bakeneye byose.
Ibyo ni itike y'indege yo kugenda no kugaruka, visa, icumbi, amafunguro, imodoka ibatembereza ahantu hatagatifu nka Betelehemu, Nazareti, Kana, Yorodani, Yeriko, Yeruzalemu, kumva ya Yezu n'ahandi.
Hari kandi kugendera mu bwato mu nyanja ya Galileya no gusura inyanja y'umunyu. Muri izo ngendo kandi muzaba mufite abaguide babigize umwuga bazabatembereza ndetse bakanabasobanurira ayo mateka.
Muri urwo rugendo kandi tuzatura Yezu ibibazo byacu n'abacu birimo nk'uburwayi, tunamusabe kudukomeza mu kwemera.
Kwiyandikisha byaratangiye, bikorerwa kuri paruwasi ya Regina PACIS i Remera kugeza ku itariki ya 30 y'ukwezi kwa 4 2026.
Bifuza ibindi bisobanuro birambuye bahamagara kuri telefone igendanwa mubona kuri ekara zanyu.
I wish I could leave my skin behind.
Icy'ingenzi ntabwo ari ukugira diplome ya kaminuza. Uyu munsi birahagije kuganira n'umuntu byonyine ukamenya ko yize muri kaminuza ibonetse yose cyangwa se ko yize muri kaminuza Gatolika y'u Rwanda, Catholic University of Rwanda, by'umwihariko mu ishami ryayo rya Kigali. Ubu abazi guhitamo neza batangiye kwiyandikisha muri Catholic University of Rwanda Kigali campus ikorera Nyamirambo. Abashaka kwiga mu mashami y'uburezi kwiyandikisha mu gihembwe kizatangira mu kwezi kwa gatatu, March intake, byaratangiye muri Postgraduate Diploma in Education PGDE. Aba biga muri weekend. Hatangwa kandi amasomo muri Department of Education in Sciences mu mashami ya Economics and Computer Science, Mathematics and Computer Science, Mathematics and Geography na Mathematics and Economics. Hari kandi Department of Education in Arts and Social Sciences mu mashami ya English and Kinyarwanda, English and French, French and Kinyarwanda, English and Kiswahili, Economics and Entrepreneurship, English and History, Economics and History na Economics and Geography. Uhitamo kwiga ku manywa cyangwa se mu biruhuko. Twakira kandi abanyeshuri bafite A1 muri education bakeneye gukomeza amasomo yabo ku rwego rwa A0. Iyandikisha unyuze kuri wa@CUR.AC.RW. Wanahamagara cyangwa ukandika ubutumwa kuri 07 83 18 86 26 cyangwa 07 33 21 46 78 cyangwa 07 88 52 41 98. Wanandika email kuri curkigali-campus@gmail.com.
The only way to being found is getting
ukilala salama. Banyarwanda, noneho nagahebuzo. Ryaduka ribazanira matera nziza zimuryamaho ntihongere gutaka umugongo. Ryabazaniye matera zigezweho za Relax Foam, Dada Mattress ndetse na Rose Foam kandi ku giciro cyiza.
Iryo nta rindi ni Kwizera Shop, igisubizo ku barara badatekanye kubera kuryama hadasobanutse. Mu iduka Kwizera Shop turaranguza ndetse tukanagurisha kuri detail ku giciro utasanga ahandi.
Dukorera Nyabugogo, ugeze muri Feruje uzamuka gato umuhanda ujya Kimisagara, ni imbere neza ya Regi ishami rya Nyabugogo, aho uhita ubona icyapa cyanditseho Kwizera Shop.
Ku bindi bisobanuro wahamagara kuri 0780 55 22 8. Ryama neza urara kuri matera za Relax Foam, Dada Mattress na Rose Foam.
Welcome in international news. In Cameroon, His Holiness Pope Leon XIV urges Cameroonian authorities to fight against corruption, human rights and the fight against abuse of power. Pope Leon XIV delivered a strong political message on Wednesday to the authorities of Cameroon, urging them to undertake an examination of conscience. On the first day of his visit to the country, where he was welcomed by the great popular enthusiasm, the American Pope arrived in the capital Yaoundé from Algeria, where the start of his African tour had been partly overshadowed by a double suicide attack about 40 kilometers from Algiers and a tirade by Donald Trump against him, in which he notably accused him of being bad foreign policy. In front of the country's authorities and its president, Paul Biya, 93, who has ruled with an iron hand since 1982, he delivered a speech of rare firmness, calling to break the chains of corruption. Meanwhile, the Cameroonian president stated that the world needs the message of the peace carried by Leon XIV. Cameroon ranked 142nd out of 182 countries in the 2025 Corruption Perceptions Index by NGO Transparency International, continues to face high levels of corruption, fueling criticism from opposition and international organizations. In recent years, Paul Biya has made numerous private trips abroad, where the opposition accuses him of spending large amounts of money for public funds. Cameroon ranked 142nd out of 182 countries in corruption. The Pope will travel on Friday to the economic capital Douala, where he will celebrate a mass in a stadium expected to draw hundreds of faithful people in Cameroon. In sports news, FIFA president says Iran will participate in US-held Soccer World Cup for sure despite its war that is going on in Iran. News in detail.
FIFA president says Iran will participate in US-held Soccer World Cup for sure despite war. FIFA President Gianni Infantino said Wednesday that Iran will participate in the World Cup for sure despite its war with the United States. Speaking at CNBC Invest in America Forum, Infantino said it is important that Iran participate in the World Cup even though its participation has been in doubt since the US and Israel launched airstrikes on the country. The Iranian team is coming for sure, yes, Infantino said. We hope that by then, of course, the situation will be a peaceful situation. As I said, that would definitely help. But Iran has to come. Of course, they represent their people. They have qualified. The players want to play. Infantino met with the Iranian national team in Antalya, Turkey 2 weeks ago and said Wednesday he was impressed. I went to see them. They are actually quite a good team as well, Infantino said, and they really want to play and they should play. Sports should be outside of politics now. Infantino acknowledged it's not always possible to achieve the separation of sports and politics. We don't live on the moon, we live on planet Earth, Infantino said. But if there is nobody else that believes in building bridges and in keeping them, intact and together, well, we are doing that job. The United States will host the World Cup with Canada and Mexico. Iran is scheduled to play 2 group stage games in Inglewood, California, and 1 in Seattle. The world has raised doubts about Iran's participation in the World Cup. There have been conflicting public comments from Iranian government and soccer officials. U.S. President Donald Trump discouraged the Iranian team from attending the tournament, citing safety concerns.
The sports news brings us to the end of our news edition tonight. But before we leave this place, let's go back to the headlines. In Cyangugu, the Catholic parish of Mushaka begins the journey of reconciliation and restoring unity between the genocide perpetrators and genocide survivors. In Kigali today, the leaders and employees of MYAKA Fund, known locally as Tubura, paid tribute to the victims of the genocide against the Tutsi at the Gisozi Memorial Site. In Nyaruguru, Honorable Senator Umuhire Adrien is calling on the youth to prioritize unity among Rwandans, to distance themselves from evil, and to stand up against those who continue to spread genocide ideology. In Cyangugu, young people are being urged to guard against those who distort the history of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in an attempt to downplay or deny it. In international news, His Holiness Pope Leon XIV urged the Cameroonian authorities to fight against corruption. Pope Leon XIV delivered a strong political message on Wednesday to the authorities of Cameroon. In sports, FIFA President Gianni Infantino said that Iran will participate in the World Cup for sure, despite its war with the United States of America. Thank you very much for being with us tonight. This is PACIS TV. I am Benjamin Kwizera. Good night.